We are up to chapter 14, so without any further ado, let's jump right into it. A few days later, I'm hanging out with Char and the twins. Char told me I'd better show up if I know what's good for me. She says she don't like how I'm acting lately, forgetting to do her homework, giving her too much lip. She's right, I'm pushing my luck with her. But maybe I can learn to hang with Char and get along with her too. Fighting her ain't no use. Look where it got me the last time in the lunchroom. I'm tired of working in the school office. It's been a few weeks now and I'm still bored stiff. I want to have some fun. So after fifth period, instead of going to the office to work, I head to the lockers with Char, Raina, and Rice. And who do we run into but Miss Saunders, who's on hall duty. The first thing Miss Saunders does is ask me how work is coming in the office. Then she says, I guess you're headed there now. You are working there today, right? Char stays cool for once, and she and the twins start walking ahead of Miss Saunders and me. I'm on my way, I say, turning back around and walking up the hall toward the office. I hear Miss Saunders tell Char and the twins they better hurry up to class or they will have to get a late note to get in. Char says something smart and keeps stepping. A moment later, I hear the school side exit door closing. Miss Saunders walks me to the office like I'm some baby. She's dressed to the nines like usual. She's got on gold hoop earrings with dolphins jumping through them, and she's making small talk, asking how I am, asking if I read her latest assignment. That's a designer suit you're wearing, I ask, knowing full well it is. Miss Saunders fingers the collar. I think so. You think so? Don't you know? Yes, it is, Malika, she says, kind of smart. Real teachers can't afford designer suits, I say, before I really think about what I'm saying. I wore suits for my job at the ad agency. Suits are kind of like a uniform, I guess. My mom wears a uniform to work. What you got on ain't no uniform. Miss Saunders nods. I think if I was wearing my own clothes, I would feel like 2 cents next to her. But I'm in Char's stuff, so I'm holding my own. What are you doing here, Miss Saunders? At McClinton, I ask. While we walk, Miss Saunders stops every once in a while and picks up a gum wrap or a soda can tab. I want to teach, she says, plain as day. Then how come you're not at that Catholic school 10 blocks from here, or one of them private schools downtown? Miss Saunders doesn't say nothing. She's just walking slow like I got all day. I mean, teachers don't come here 'cause they want to. They get dumped here 'cause they goofed up someplace else usually. Except Ty, maybe. But you know, she's weird. She wanted to come to McClinton, I tell her. Then Miss Saunders gives me a trick question that I ain't expecting. Why are you here? What? I fold my arms tight in front of me. Why are you here? She asks. Again, I checked your records. Last year you passed the test for Central Middle School across the town. You checked my records? I check all my students' records. In business, you always learn about your clients, who they are, what makes them tick. It helps you do your job better. It's the same with teaching. Know your clients. It bothers me that Miss Saunders knows all my business. You know, about us kids. But we don't know nothing about you, except where you came from before you got here, that you like suits and jewelry, and that you was born with that face. Miss Saunders says there's nothing much to know about her. She's single, she doesn't have any kids, she was working 18-hour days and traveling the country all the time. When she turned 40, she didn't want to do it anymore. 6 months later, she found out about the school board's new plan for letting executives teach in the schools. You gave that up to come here? I asked, reaching down and picking up a broken pen. The business world can be very competitive, Miss Saunders says. I was always trying to outthink, outperform, and even outdress my competitors. It was wearing me down. Well, you're the best dressed one in this place, I say. Miss Saunders reaches for the top button on her suit. You think you ever going back, Miss Saunders? Back to working in a big company? I ask. Miss Saunders shakes her head. No, I think teaching is it for me. You won't miss the money and stuff like that? She shakes her head a second time. We turn in the corner and I go into the office. Miss Saunders walks in, throws trash in the garbage can by the door and keeps on going. It's the first time me and her have been together without things falling apart. Miss Saunders has really got all the other teachers stirred up, except for Ty. Most of them don't like her. They say Mr. Pajoli's sucking up to her so that maybe her company will donate lots of money to the school. Maybe even get us some computers and a new library. All this makes the other teachers resent Miss Saunders even more. In the office, the teachers never say her name. They just say she did this and she did that. I hate pushy people, Miss Benson, the English teacher, is saying when she comes into the office with Mr. Pajoli. Every day she's coming to me with some new idea she came up with, questioning why things can't be done differently. Mr. Pajoli tries to quiet Miss Benson down, but she just gets louder and her face grows red. Raising her finger to him, she says, "You get her in line, Charles. She's disrupting everything." Everything. Mr. Bajoli's nodding while his eyes go over to the messages Miss Carroll hands him. "That's the third parent calling to complain this week. Too much homework, too much reading," Miss Carroll says. A big smile comes over Miss Vincent's face. "Don't tell me. Let me guess who they're complaining about." Mr. Bajoli scratches his bald head. He lets out a deep breath and says he'll take care of things. Then the phone rings. "Yes, he's here." Miss Carroll presses down the hold button and smiles. "Someone else calling about your favorite person." Mr. Bajoli clicks his false teeth together. "Send it back to my office," he tells Miss Carroll. Miss Vincent touches up the edges of her lipstick with her finger and walks off humming. Miss Carroll tells me to get back to work and stop being so nosy. I go and staple papers together over in the corner. It's good to see teachers get in as much trouble as kids do sometimes. The office is a busy place. Folks come and go like this is a bus stop on the corner. As soon as I get a few papers stapled, here comes someone else wanting something. This time it's Desda. "Hey, Malika, I need me a note to get into class. I've been to the dentist," she says, pulling out a balled up piece of paper with some writing on it. I look in Miss Carroll's direction. She's heading over to Desda to give Desda what she needs. While she's doing that, here comes Charlize. I don't see the twins nowhere. "Charlize, shouldn't you be in class?" Miss Carroll asks, still tending to Desda. "In a minute," Char snaps, waving for me to come to the other end of the counter. Miss Carroll's voice is squeaky and high-pitched like a wheel that needs some oil. "Charlize Jones, I don't know what you think is going on here, but Malika is doing a job for the principal. And you, young lady, had better hightail it to class." Char just laughs at Miss Carroll. "You act like Malika is working for the President of the United States. Man." Miss Carroll shoves the note over to Desda. "All right, now get to class." Desda's looking at me like I did something wrong. Charlize takes out a stick of gum and pushes it in her mouth real slow. Miss Carroll looks like she's going to go off on her. Then out comes Mr. Bajoli. "Hello, Mr. P," Char says in a sweet baby voice. "You think maybe one day I can work in here too? Maybe answer the phone or something?" Char stands there in her skin-tight striped pantsuit with her finger in her mouth like a 2-year-old. Mr. Bajoli knows Char ain't the least bit like that for real. "Sure, Charlize. You may start working in the office as soon as you pay the fines for 3 library books and 2 math books you lost last year." Char starts arguing with Mr. Bajoli about how she ain't never had those things and how everybody is out to get her. "Anyhow," she says, "I ain't no slave. If I work for somebody, there's got to be some dollars involved." Mr. Bajoli tells Char to move along and get to class. "For what?" she says, heading out. "All these teachers is boring me to death." Mr. Bajoli asks her what class she has now. "Math with Ty," Char says. "Nobody can be bored in her class unless they want to be," Mr. Bajoli says, walking out with her. Mr. Bajoli is right, too. Ty is funny. She meditates a lot, so during her class break it ain't unusual to see her sitting on the desk with her legs folded and her arms crossed. She's different, but she can't teach. I used to get all A's in Ty's class last year. Since I got this office gig, Ty's been bugging me about keeping up my average. She came right in here yesterday and asked me where my homework was. Mr. Bajoli was standing right at the desk, too. I lied and said it was in my locker. Ty asked Mr. Bajoli if it was okay for me to go get it. Then I had to fess up and tell her I forgot to do it. She asked Mr. Bajoli if it's okay for me to use my office time to do my math homework. He said yeah, but that I have to make up the time later. Teachers don't do nothing but cause you grief. I swear, that's all they do.